An effective contextualization provides sufficient background information to help the reader understand the topic and its setting. It's important in that it provides the reader with the essential context needed to understand the research problem and its significance. In addition, it should build up the reader's confidence in the overall quality of your research by placing the topic in context. Depending on the problems to be addressed, context may be cultural, economic, political, historical, social, philosophical, or technological. When reading an academic paper, before you read about the topic in depth, and before you explore the research problem, you'll first of all read the introduction. Introductions in research papers might vary depending on the type of research paper and the length requirement. However, all introductions contain information that allows the reader to fully understand the research problem to be addressed by the paper. From the general to the specific, an introduction includes a brief introduction and explanation of the research topic, a contextualization of the research problem that puts it into context and identifies the gaps in the existing knowledge, and finally a thesis statement. These three categories of information are usually structured in an inverted triangle, like this. You can follow this pattern in the introduction of your paper. Any form of contextualization will involve a description of background information, and this can be historical, cultural, philosophical, political, social, economic, or technological. A certain amount of descriptive writing is needed to cover some of the following elements. You'll need descriptive writing to explain the setting of the research, a general description of a piece of literature or art. You'll need to describe, perhaps, the list of measurements taken or the steps in a procedure, or an account of the biographical details of a key figure in the discipline, or a brief summary of an event in history leading up to a decision. Descriptive writing needs to be sharp and colourful, more so than any other type of writing. Descriptive writing tends to differ between subjective and objective description. The first is how the thing seems to one particular person, whereas the latter is how it actually is. In academic writing, objective description, which is more informative, is more commonly used to describe physical objects or abstract entities such as an experiment, historical event, or natural phenomenon or theory. Contextualization can also include descriptions of important and relevant research studies. An explanation of these studies can be included as part of the introduction or in a separate literature review section which will describe the research in more detail. That depends on the type of research paper and the length requirement that you have, and this may differ between a thesis and an article in an academic journal. Now, let's have a recap of what this mini lecture has covered. The different forms of contextualization, the inverted triangle pattern of reading an introduction, and the importance of description in contextualization. You can go to the tasks for this section and share your ideas or questions about contextualization in the forum. Good luck.